Well, you have to excuse me, I got my APU running in the background. It should slow down in a minute or two. I guess this would be an appeal, almost, to anyone who's done any engineering, anyone who likes to creatively think about inventions or ideas and things of that nature. Before I started driving a truck, which I'm in now, I spent about 20 years in engineering. Obviously, I don't understand the ins and outs of nuclear engineering probably any better than the next layperson would, but everyone's kind of been given an education here in the last month, I think, on nuclear science to a degree. And so when the BP chain of events unraveled last year, I thought that a hurricane would whip in that area and pick up all the oil and the water and spread it throughout the Midwest into the heartland and contaminate the crops and give us a lot of problems. But it didn't, because they shot it with Corexit and it sank. Here, I don't think you can shoot the radiation with anything, not that I know of. Radiation is here to stay. It's invisible. It's accumulative, which is not good. So what happens when that first typhoon rolls through? Actually, I already had one. They had a depression on April 1st. But I think the cyclone season for the Japan area, for that part of the Pacific area, kicks off in June. It sounds like kind of about the same time our hurricane season kicks off, and it runs through, obviously, through the warmer months. And from a little bit of research I've done, it looks like the Japanese area receives between about 6 and 14 typhoons, maybe more. It's pretty active in that area. The typhoons form from east, they come into the west. So they head to the west, around about Okinawa and Japan, and it blows towards North and South Korea, China, and Russia, primarily, I think. And it looks like last year they had like one typhoon cross over the island of Japan. It doesn't appear as though they get a lot that cross over, but they get a lot that go around. And then keep in mind, these cloud formations are, ginormous, hundreds of miles in length and width and breadth. And so what's going to happen when all this radioactive dust gets kicked around, half dozen times or more in that area? What kind of solutions, I don't know if there are any solutions, but what kind of preventative measures can these countries start to prepare for now? The first thing I thought of is a dusty road. When you got a dusty road in the summertime, cars travel down it and the dust plumes off as high as the trees, and it dusts the trees, and then they come back and they put oil on it. Now, of course, if the typhoon is strong enough, just suck the oil, suck the dust up, and spread it all over the place. But probably not as easily if there was none down. I think any idea at this time right now is something to investigate, even if it's, a bad one. You could, these governments, whoever, could start getting ready now. They could start dropping oil down on the 30 kilometer radius zone or 50 kilometer radius zone. Why not at this point? They spray the crop dust, right? Get enough planes, big old transport planes or whatever, and at least start putting something down. Of course, if it's bad enough, it's probably not going to. I'm sure it'll probably do something. something better than having nothing. But what happens when this stuff starts swirling all over the place, the whole island? You know, what sort of contingency plans do these governments have in place? You know, they all want to pose, you know, and cut trillions of dollars out of the deficit. And does it really matter? I mean, if you're talking about fuel rods that need to be cooled before they can be cemented, if that's true, I mean, I'm hearing stuff that if they cement it now, you're basically looking at an explosion. They have to cool it first. Now, you know, you also hear everybody saying, you know, not everybody, but some people saying dump boron on the reactors first, because that's the neutron whatever absorber, and then cement it. Will that work? I don't know. I mean, what could you do? I'm asking, what the hell could you do? I mean, why not start planning now? You only have a couple months. I mean, what are we in January, February, March, April? You got 2 months. Better do something now. Better try anything. I mean, do something to keep that dust down. What if a typhoon goes right through the reactor area? You know, what if it's strong enough it starts picking up radioactive debris and starts spreading it all over the place? I mean, it's more than likely going to happen. Not necessarily the debris, but the dust. Shit's going to get spread everywhere. What are you going to do with all those people? What are you going to do with 200 million people if that island is uninhabitable? Where's the plan for that? Where's the plan for the west coast of America? They're getting dosed, heavily dosed, just like heavier than they're the first stop. You know, it's choo-choo, first stop, all aboard, all off. West Coast, British Columbia to Mexico. What happens? That stuff just keeps accumulating, They keep cooling the fuel rods. This goes on for 3, 6, 12 months, 2, 3 years. You're looking at extinction. You know, you're looking at and you're talking about being bombarded by plutonium, uranium, non-stop. I mean, come on. Somebody, you know, people need to start putting their heads together and start planning for, I don't care what kind of plan it is. Anything's better than nothing. Solving the budget deficit is about, I think, 0 on a 10 scale. You better frickin' figure out how to put out this shit fast. And I know they're trying their hardest. I'm not blaming anybody or saying anything. I mean, collectively, as a world, we better start putting our head together and start figuring out what we're going to do when the typhoons roll through, when the West Coast is constantly being bombarded at first stop with high levels of radiation. What if you got to relocate all the people on the West Coast? What if you got to relocate 200 million people on that island? Where are they going to go? Where are they going to go? Who's got a plan for that? Who's putting a contingency plan to that in place? What are you going to do? You're going to pick up and move Boeing? You're going to move Silicon Valley? You better start frickin' planning. You better frickin'. I mean, this is really serious shit. This isn't spread. You know, dump some Corexit on it and have it sink to the bottom of the ocean and then tell everybody go eat the shrimp. This is invisible. Look up. Next time it rains, think about it like I did this morning. First time in my life. I'm going like, you know, I don't really like there's a rain dropping on me. I know the shit's up there. I know the shit's coming down, and it's going to keep coming down. It's going to keep accumulating. The plutonium and the uranium. This is ridiculous. We need to have a plan. You can't rely on the governments. People are going to have to take action for themselves. This is just shit.